Hey, welcome to Optimize Your Body with Martin Silva, where we talk raw, uncut facts to truly help you optimize your body. Hey people, so I have a very inspiring story for you today. My man Gerry, my buddy Gerry, who I met here in Sydney. And firstly, I wanted to say apologies. I have my new mics, my new microphones, but me being so rubbish with technology, couldn't get them set up properly, hence why we're speaking into the laptop. So it's going to be fixed next week, so stay with us. Anyways, Gerry's on, and he's transformed his whole life. He basically has lost, I think, over 100 kilos of weight, and as I say, he has transformed his life for the better. How are you doing today, Jet?
I'm fantastic, thanks, Martin. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. All good. So yeah, just let's tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself. You know, I've been in Sydney for over a year now, and I've witnessed the work you put in the gym. Yeah. And I didn't realise how far you came prior to me actually knowing you. So give us a bit more of an insight into your background, yeah?
Yeah.
And story.
No worries. Prior to me, I'm 39. I work 7 days a week, running the business down there on the beach, and before that, I was had total bad decisions on food and all the rest. Used to smoke a packet to 2 packs a day, and that's what made me get to my large weight of over 260 kilos. And just, trying to push through the day between instead of getting sleep and relaxing and all that sort of stuff, you're going to sugars, you're going to cakes, you're going to give you the spikes, to give you that energy, and once I changed all that, I had a bit of an episode, and I'm fortunate where I don't have any health issues. I'm not a diabetic. Don't have any heart issues. I don't have any cholesterols. I've got nothing, which is a surprise to everyone, especially being so overweight. And so I went into hospital with just fluid retention, and from there I changed my whole lifestyle. I was wanting to do it, put procedures before that to do it and all the rest, and I haven't had any surgical procedures. I've lost the weight naturally, stopped smoking naturally, cold turkey, and and you see me every day coming into the gym, dieting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the diet, it's the lifestyle choices. It's choosing the right food groups. It's out there. It's a decision which people make themselves, and we all know what's right and what's wrong for us. It's just our decision to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you said you've done it the natural way, right? So at what point, you said you were 260 kilos, right? Which is a dangerous weight, right? That's astronomical for like any Americans listening to this. That's like 600 pounds plus. I mean, at what point, that's what I was going to say. How did you, now you can compare and relate to how you felt back then to how you feel now. How did you actually feel like looking back when you were that weight? I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally?
Mentally, it was just one day at a time. You literally could not think. You could not, you didn't have the mental capacity, you didn't have the stamina, you didn't have anything to actually progress. So with business, with, lost a lot of friendships because you weren't being able to go out, you weren't socialising, you weren't switched on. Health-wise, at the worst of it, I could barely struggle going to the shop, barely struggle walking. I was struggling walking. I was, driving and all the rest was a struggle. So it impacts your life a lot. And the decisions was I made myself. I said, you know what, I've got to do something about this. There's two ways for me. It's either I do something about this and change everything, or my family will be putting me 6 foot under. There's no two ways about it. It's chalk and cheese like that. It's clear, definitive. I was either going to be dead if I didn't do anything about it.
But you said, obviously, on paper, it sounds like you were literally knocking on death's door. But you said you didn't really have any, like, obviously you felt, like, terrible and, like, deaf anyway, like, by the sounds of it. But
stamina, you had no stamina, you had no motivation, you had nothing. But, yeah, I know what you were saying. Yeah. I've got no medical condition.
And even back then, they didn't diagnose you with anything?
Nothing.
No.
Even when I went to the hospital, when I had that fluid retention, I was holding liquid. In that, I was in hospital for 2 weeks. They did a number of tests on me and all the rest. In that 2 week period, I lost 23 litres of fluid came out of me.
Jeez.
In 2 weeks. So that's a fair bit, eh? So,
that's a fair bit, but like you say there wasn't any health issues, but when you say 23 litres, I mean
that's
maybe your organs...
kilos.
Exactly, maybe at that point your organs were okay, but as you said, 20, like obviously that's your... If you can't get more black and white than that, can you? The body's saying to you, right, okay, this is enough. 23 litres of water, that's a signal, surely. Yeah. Do something about it. And, geez, yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So you were literally knocking on death's door by the sounds of it. And you're obviously thinking about your family and the people close to you, and you thought, right, I've got to do something about this. And the next question is, leading into that, is where did you find the motivation? What was the first step for you, first, in terms of what was the first thing you started changing? And secondly, where did you find the motivation to actually take that first step, other than, obviously, your family and your friends close to you?
Well, you got to realise something. Beforehand, going 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 2 years before that, doesn't matter what family, friends, all the rest turn around and say to you. They can shout, they can do whatever, they can force you to do whatever, but if you're not willing to do that, you won't change. It was a decision that was made to myself, and I said to myself, I sat down and I go, okay, if I do want to have family, if I do want to be around and all the rest, I have to change. I said, am I happy with the way I'm living? Am I getting the most out of life? There's questions, and it's different to each person. Eh? It's each individual is different. And each person's got their own requirements of what life is. And so I did do some sit down and had some one-on-one time with myself. And I came to the conclusion, I said, enough's enough. I've gone to this stage, I've gone above and beyond. I'm still a big unit, I'm still, I'm not out of the red zone. But I'm a heck of a lot better than what I was.
Well, I say over 100 kilos still down, right? Now, I don't normally go by weight, but I mean when you're obese. Well, when you're obese, I mean, that's substantial.
That's mortally obese.
Exactly. That's a significant amount of weight. So you're still. I mean, obviously, you say you still got work to do, but from what I've seen, you've lost all that weight, and that's actually leading into the next question, mate. Right? Because this is how the stats lie now, right? So that's why it's so impressive, because you're an anomaly, really, because 6 at the moment as it stands. I know there's no turning back now, though, because I've saw how much you're willing, right? But 6 out of 7 people, right, they lose, like, an absurd amount of weight at some point in their life. They let themselves go, get obese or overweight or whatever. They lose a stupid amount of weight, like, maybe not the level you're at, 100 kilos, that's something else. But 6 out of 7 of those people will put it all back on at some point. And if not more.
And more, yeah.
Exactly. So how long has it been since you started embarked on this journey? Yeah, and how long has it been?
I started the 19th of November 2016.
Okay, so that's almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Okay, right.
So I really haven't turned back since then. And that's the thing, it's not about, and you are right, people do put it back on, but the way they lose the weight, if they do it for the quick fix of going and doing surgery, the different types of surgery for weight reduction and all the rest, that helps. But if people don't change their lifestyles, they're only going to put it back on.
Exactly. That's right.
I understand that and I can see that. I've seen many people do that, around here.
100%. And I have that battle with people, obviously, being a personal trainer and online coach and whatnot. I always get that battle with people. It's like you have to peel off those layers of self-awareness and be aware enough about the reasons why you're doing it, and you have to address the psychological side of it by making these changes, like small changes. And it's an incremental process, right? It's a steady process.
Yeah.
Because if you try, as you know, right, and you probably witnessed, if you try changing too much all at once, right, it becomes very hard to sustain. So what was the first step changing nutrition before you even thought about training, or did you do the both at the same? How did you go about it? What was the first step?
Well, as I said, I was a smoker.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, I easily gave up smoking, cold turkey, which is that's like most people put weight on. I gave up smoking and I started losing weight at a rapid rate.
Wow, explain that a little bit. Okay, so you stopped smoking altogether, nipped it in the bud, didn't cut it down, cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
And what did you do to keep the weight off then? Because a lot of people turn to food as their next drug, don't they? So what did you do?
I turned to my mind.
Wow.
Willpower, yeah.
There we go. It must have been miserable though, Jay. It must have been, I was going to swear, it must have been miserable. Like going cold turkey on smoking, right? Yeah. And then at the same time, cutting back on food and whatnot.
I'll tell you now, I was like, the smoking, cut it on the butt, gone. The food as well, gone. That was hard. The food was harder than the smoking. I used to smoke because stresses of work, stresses of everything. That 2 minutes to have a cigarette, you'll step outside of the workplace, you'll step outside of everything, you'll have a coffee, you have a cigarette, and you just think about nothing.
Escape.
Escape,
yeah.
That's right. I was okay. The food was hard, but I knew that I had to change it. I said there's no other two ways about it. If I don't do this, I'm dead. I said, let's give it a go. Let's see how much I can really do. And that was my motivation. I was going with that.
So you got momentum from that, yeah?
I got momentum from that. Then I got momentum from the successes like losing all these weights, losing all the weight, dropping all the weight. People then turning around going, Gerry, shit, like seriously, how much have you lost and all the rest? Like, what's going on? Excuse my language. But all that sort of stuff, it does. It builds up self-confidence and it builds up in your mind the willpower. Mm-hmm. It supports it. And the nutrition was, at the beginning, hard because when I was in the hospital and all the rest, they put me on this meal replacement shakes and all the rest. Mm-hmm. So I was hardly eating anything. I wasn't training then. It was a while since I started training, and dealing with the hospital because they were doing tests on me because they were saying like, how can someone like me be so big and not have any medical problems? Sorry. They wanted to find out why, and I was losing weight at a rapid rate. And it came to a point where I had to start training, not doing cardio, but more so it's the other issue with massive weight loss is the skin, mm-hmm. the flabbiness and all that. And I was talking to one of the dietitians at St. Vincent's. And we said that okay, I've got to start doing weights. I've got a big frame, I'm over 6 foot tall and all the rest, and they said, okay, we've got to start building up the weight so it helps with the skin coming back, and also it's only going to be better for me, and that's why I started doing weights probably June of 2017. So it was about 6 months after I came out of hospital. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I've sort of increased the weights, still losing body fat, increasing muscle, increasing tone, tone and all the rest. And it does play with your mind because you get to a point and you go, okay, I'm losing weight, I'm building up body mass, like as in muscle. On the scales, nothing shows. You go and put pants on,
and they're falling off.
And they're falling off you.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you turn around and you've got all these other issues where it's like it does play with your mind, and that's where you need good friends around you, and that's where you need, like, as you know, I've got a PT here, and Sam, he's helped me out a lot, and there is a good bond. You have to have a good bond between a PT and client to create longevity. And long focus. We've been going on for about a year now, the two of us. Dealing with him, supporting me with all of that issues, saying to me, mate, you're going well. Your surgery, because I am looking at doing surgery now for the skin and all the rest.
Okay. So what surgery is that exactly, if you don't mind saying?
That's actually to get rid of all the skin, all the excess skin.
Okay, right.
Because the skin won't
bind, kind of thing. Yeah.
No, it won't contract.
Won't contract, yeah.
So I actually have to get rid of it, and that's why you get all these flabbiness, you get all these excess skin all around.
I see.
I dropped over 20 inches around my waist.
Yeah. It's an astronomical amount of weight, isn't it? You know what I mean? Yeah. It really is. I haven't come across anyone. Like, remember when you first told me? And I kept saying to him, like, pounds, yeah, not kilos. You're talking about, no, not kilos. And I'm like, scratching my head. I'm thinking, how is that possible? Yeah. But like, but then you showed me a picture and I was like, shit, this guy ain't playing games. Yeah. Like, so that's a lot of weight. But yeah, you're going into that. I just wanted to delve a little bit deeper into what you were saying then, because you're basically going through all my questions here, which is great. Community, support, and who you surround yourself with, right? I always say to people, the 4 pillars of health: sleep, exercise, food, and social connections, or community, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, the relationships you have, right, with people. So that is that's played a huge part in your success on your journey, right? Having Sam around you, and just look at the community, because I just wanted to clear this, just explain this to you guys. Gerry, I know him mainly obviously from the gym, but also because he owns Coogee Kiosk, which is basically a cafe and coffee shop.
Yeah, Chish and Phipps.
Chish and Phipps. Best coffee in Coogee, by the way, mate. And I'm not just saying that. No, I swear it is. That's why I keep coming back. Yeah. And the fact that you look after me. But no, anyway, where was I going with that? Yeah, so
the community and all
community.
The rest,
that's it. You've got a good community there, though. I mean, it's like when I go there, it's great.
Yeah, it's all there. Like, we've been there for so many years and all the rest. People, and you need that social interaction, hands down, and that's something which I didn't have before. When I got big and all the rest, I didn't have that social interaction. I didn't have that network. But the other thing that you said, which is I put it down to one of the key factor of me doing all this is sleep. Getting that sleep, that quality sleep. I suffered from, I still do, sleep apnea. I wasn't sleeping much. I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, if that. 3 hours, 3 to 5 hours.
This is prior to you losing all that weight?
Prior.
Okay, yeah. Right, I'm with you.
So I wasn't getting all that sleep. Wasn't getting much sleep. Afterwards, I got back onto the machine. I got getting sleep. During the week, I would sleep 7 to 8 hours. I won't go out during the week. If I do, I'll catch up the sleep or something. That sleep is the key factor of me transforming.
Wow.
Then
let me just hold your thought there, right? Because I always stress to people how important sleep is, and I'm actually reading a book on it now, and it is literally number one. Like, we all know that you can go much longer without food than you can sleep and whatnot, and it is just so essential, right? So the sleep. Just wanted to say, right now, have you got any tips in terms of you actually sleeping 7 to 8 hours and not getting the sleep apnea? obviously losing all that weight and building muscle and looking after yourself has played a massive part in the quality of your sleep.
Yeah.
Is there any other tips and tricks you have in terms of getting that good quality sleep? Because a lot of people who listen to this, I know people don't prioritize it enough. So how do you, I know you don't go out on the week. Is there any other tips you have in terms of
during the week, okay. Like
going out drinking and stuff? Yeah.
You know me. On the weekends, I'll go, maybe on a Saturday night, I'll go out drinking until 2 in the morning, no dramas.
Mate, you can drink, like, I just wanted to clear this up as well, mate. This guy can put him away like there's no tomorrow, right? The next day, he'll be in the gym with his trainer the next morning.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you do that?
It's I don't know. It's something which I can do. I can go out until 2 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll be at the shop, working, and then I'll be up here training at 8:30.
Fucking machine, mate.
So it's a choice that you make. Going back to choices as well, it's a choice that you make that people, you make it. You need that social interaction, you go and do it. But the next day, it shouldn't affect what you do.
No.
If you have a schedule and you go, okay, I've got to do this, work, this, that, boof, boof, you do it all. There's no, that's life. If you want to sit there and go, oh, it's too hard or this and that, well, do it.
Excuses, yeah.
But then you'll prolong on your journey, wherever you want to go or whatever you want to do.
I interrupted you earlier, mate. Sorry, and I've interrupted you again.
About sleep.
About sleep, yeah. I cut in, and you were delving deeper into something.
Yeah, sleep is something which is seriously, it is the key factor of me helping with my success story. What I do, I make sure it doesn't matter who it is, what it is now. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock. 7:30, I'm ready to get to bed. I unwind. 8 o'clock, I'm in bed. Even if it means turning off mobile devices, this and that.
Thank you.
You don't need it. You do not need to answer what your friends are doing on Instagram or looking at what they're doing or this and that or blah, 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 blah. You don't need that. You can put all that aside, social media. You get your quality sleep. The next day, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to be sitting on your phone. Look at it then. In your spare time, don't lose focus. That's the thing. Like I don't look at my phone at nights. I put it on mute.
Yeah.
I don't even use it as just in case I do need to wake up. Now my body knows. I'm up at 4:35 in the morning.
Yes,
I'm just up. I wake up before my alarm clock, my old-fashioned alarm clock on the side of the bed.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the best way. That's another thing. And I'm glad you're talking more about this because the quality of your sleep is... Forget about 7 or 8 hours, that's great, right? But forget about the duration for now, right? It does play a massive part. But the quality of your sleep and you actually going into the rapid eye movement phase of that deep sleep to regenerate your body... I mean, the things they link in, like sleep deprivation to, are mind-blowing now, like Alzheimer's, weight gain. It plays a massive part in all aspects of health, right? So focus on good quality sleep. And just as Gerry was saying, as I keep stressing, but people they're really not taking it seriously. And I get sucked in, but I'm really mindful now, not going on my phone right before bed. Occasionally I'll go on there and I'll get sucked in, but I'm aware now because it is literally killing off your melatonin, right? The sleep-induced hormone in your brain, and you're stimulating cortisol, which is the stress hormone, right? So listening to Gerry, he's come a long way. So thanks for talking about that, maybe because I always try and stress that.
I told you, it's like sleep is literally the key factor. Right? Just toss the phone. You don't need the phone at night.
No.
Who cares what Joe Blow or whatever is doing that night, or if they're out or whatever? Good on them. You're in bed. You're sitting there. You're at home. You're trying to wind down. Watching some TV, whatever, reading a book, and then you're going to hit the sack and to get your sleep, and then the next day you can do whatever you have to do.
Exactly.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate. And when I love cutting people off. When I cut you off earlier, right? I don't know if you can remember. You're going to go into something else. We were talking about social community. I just wanted to cap that one off, right? Because we went off on sleep.
Yeah.
Social community, right? And like, for example, look, you've been there for like 20 years running that shop there, right? Yeah. And I've seen the interactions of people. Like you said to me the other day on Saturday morning when I came down, the sun had just risen. It's beautiful down there, overlooking Coogee Beach and the sea and over to Wedding Cake Island, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Wedding Cake.
Yeah. And it's like a group of people. We were saying that, coming back to the phones again, weren't we? We were saying it's just like a group of people all having coffees, not a phone in sight, talking, having fun, just as humans do.
It's the old-fashioned communication.
That's how we got here, though. We got here from helping each other and interacting, right? So,
yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. You know, and that's what it's all about. It's all about, you know, it's half the reason why people do. You need that social. You know, interaction. You can't just be caught up at home or whatever, or in your workplace, sitting behind your desk or whatever like that. You need to get out there. You need to get out there and enjoy it, because, like, at the end of the day, what are you doing everything for? You know, people. Yeah, it is good down there because no one's on their phone. They're all sitting there talking. 20 minutes, half an hour, each groups that come through.
Yep.
You know, you all see them. No one's on their phones. They're all catching up, having a chat. Oof, off they go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same sort of thing when you go out or something, like at some venues around here. It's like no one's on their phone. It's just you communicating. It's the old school, just having a chat.
Just actually talking to people, isn't it? Yeah, I was going to say, right, on that note as well, there's a saying that always is constantly on my mind now, right, because it really has hit home. I don't know why it's stuck in my head, right, but it's very simple. How you do anything is how you do everything, right? Just think about that for a second, folks, right? Because it is, for me and for what I've gathered with other people, it is very true, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. For example, my main weakness is organization, right? Hence why we're speaking into the fucking laptop now. So excuse the French. Because sometimes, like I said, without going too much into it, I don't have the structure and I don't organize and prioritize things enough, and I end up chasing my tail, right? And I find it bleeds into other areas of your life, right? So for me, it's like, I find if I'm scrambling around trying to get things together and organize, right? And then I sometimes find myself doing that with clients, and then it literally bleeds into my life. I mean, I have got some strengths, right? I can get away with it, but it's got to a point now for me where I'm like, I want to take my online business, I want to build this up, and I need to focus on that weakness, right? So, can you relate to that? How you do anything is how you do everything, because you're running a business, right? You're maintaining your shit daily, right? You're in Titan Fitness, grinding with Sam still, the trainer, you know, still pushing super heavy weights, by the way, and you know, going at it. You're in work at bloody 5:30 a.m., okay? How do you juggle the business, a thriving business, right? Which, let's face it, it's not easy to run a business and actually be successful in somewhere like Coogee when you've got all these cafes and coffee shops and all this company. And you maintain your shit. Not only are you maintaining your shit, you're still progressing. So, can you relate to that? How you do anything is how you do everything, right? Because you seem to manage to do everything, right? But what I'm getting at is how do you apply your strengths, right, to maintaining your shit?
Okay, you've got... Okay, yeah, that's a good question, actually, because, like... But that all comes down to the decisions I made before I did anything. Because what I was doing back then, I was still doing the work, the business, families, and all the rest. I'm not married. I'm not doing a family of my own, thankfully, because otherwise I think I would have been divorced by now. But in saying that, now with doing all this and actually being active, the drop of weight, the sleep, the focus of all this energy that I've got, I can't balance the work, the staff, the business side, which is all that. Then you've got your other social side where we talked about me going out, you know, until goodness knows what time in the morning, but I'm still at work. Then you've got family as well, the folks and all the rest of them. Then you've got all these other stuff, and it's all about prioritising. That's one thing I found for me is each day you're going to have things going to come across your path. And as they come across, you make either a mental note. Some people can do it mentally. Other people have to write it down.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay? You have to write it down. You go, okay, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. And you go, that is coming. I don't really need to look at that right now. So I'm not going to waste my time now on that. I have this other matter to deal with. I've got that to deal with. And you'll find that when you start doing that, then you start connecting it so your day flows. So you're not wasting time. And if you can, in areas, you can delegate.
Yeah.
I am in a position where I can delegate things to be done by other people. Not everything, don't get me wrong.
You can't delegate your 600 kilo leg press on other people, can you? More than that, isn't it? Double that.
900.
900 kilo leg press.
900, yeah.
Jesus, man. Okay, you can't delegate that to other people.
No. Well, that's me coming in here after a late night or whatever, and still coming in here doing my routine, coming in here doing it all, getting pushed by Sam, getting and all that sort of stuff, and that's what it's all about. It's a snowball effect. It's a snowball effect of once you build momentum and you're going, everything's working well, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You can do a lot more, and it's. So there's nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping anyone.
There's nothing stopping anyone. And just as you were saying then, now there's only one or two more things. Habit. I just want to. I've said this a few times now. By what you're saying to me, and based on what I've learned lately, about 40% of the things we do, right? They've done studies on this. About 40% of the things we do, purely habit. They're not even decisions. Obviously, decisions are very important, right? You just stress that then. But you have to form habits, right? For example, your habit of coming to the gym every single day at a certain time with Sam. Commitment to that, right? Habits of eating healthier meals or whatever you're doing with the food. Habits of sleeping well on the weekend, not socializing. These are all habits you formed over time and you gain momentum. And as you said then, the ripple effect or snowball effect has given you enough momentum to keep progressing forward, right? So habits and building habits, that's important, right, Jeff?
Of course, but that comes down to you making choices as well. It's up to each individual. We all know what's the right and wrong choice to do. We all know, should I eat the chocolate bar or should I eat the apple? We all know what's the right thing to do. But at that moment, it's how you feel and what you feel like, the comfort or whatever is the decision that you're going to make. The habits I think for me, habits and decisions the same thing.
Well, I see what you mean. I see where you're coming from.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. But what I'm getting at is that actually, I know what you mean though, because it is the same thing.
It's a decision.
But without
make a decision.
But without realising it though, like in terms of habits, right? Whether it's good or bad habits, we form these and we actually do certain things on autopilot. Yeah, routines. That's what I'm getting at. So routine. I know what you mean though. For example, though, I just wanted to go into a little bit more about nutrition, right? I just thought of something then.
Yeah.
Eating food, right? So, for example, now you're eating whole foods most of the time, right? So you're eating pretty healthy foods.
Yeah, I'm eating. I am eating whole foods. I am eating I'm eating my fishes. I'm eating my red meats. I'm eating my. I've cut out pastas and pizzas and all that.
How do you feel, though, Jeff? You have something crap now. So, for example, you have pizza, you have some cake. How do you feel physically and mentally after having that? Have you noticed a difference in terms of, because I always say to people, the gut is basically, we're 90% bacteria, right? So all the stuff we're beyond what we eat. We're actually, what we eat becomes a part of us. So it completely will alter your brain chemistry and how you feel and stuff, right? So do you notice a difference when you eat, if you were to eat some crap foods?
Okay, perfect. This is great. I was out at 21st a couple of weeks ago. It was in an Italian restaurant. I went, you know what? I haven't had Italian in a while. I'm hanging for it, actually. I won't go out. I won't do this. I'm going to eat Italian, so it's going to be good. I went there. I ate it. It was actually disappointing. It wasn't the best Italian food, but I was there for a party. I was there for the experience. I was there for the and all that. As I said, I didn't enjoy it, the food, but I had it. Didn't kill me.
Did you feel anything? Did you feel tired afterwards, or lethargic, or were you fine? Didn't notice anything?
No, it's no, not really, because on such a daily, it may not be just the food that keeps you tired. It's all the other stresses. It's all the other stuff. Of course, it's a combination of things.
Yeah, of course.
That's where I think food is, especially cakes, eating all that sort of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's a treat. People turn around and go, "Oh, you I know because I've heard of it. They go, "Oh, we're on this diet. I'm on a diet. I can't eat cake. Blah 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 blah." Oh no, I let go. I had 2 pieces of cake or something. Or I had a cake with some ice cream. Oh, that's it. The whole world's over. Blah 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 blah. Exactly. It's not.
And they sabotage everything. Yes, thank you.
It's not over. It's okay. You did it. Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. Was it a good experience? Was it with good people? Whatever, this and that. Even if you're at home with just your boyfriend or girlfriend, doesn't matter. You know, you had it, Next day's a new date, you move on.
Exactly. It's recreational, isn't it? It's a social thing sometimes. As long as you're not bloody binging. Even if you do binge, right? I just wanted to say about that then. You know, people talking about momentum again, right? So people will have one bad meal, for example, like you said, and then they'll sabotage their whole kind of campaign or whatever they're doing. Oh, well, I had this. I let go last night, so then I'm just going to lose it now. Or like I'll have one bad meal and I'll just eat crap the whole day now. That's what happens because people think they've lost
the whole day,
and they lose momentum. Yeah. So that's a very good point, yeah. And one more thing now, so we're running out of time, right? One more thing, last question, right? Any tips? Because I'm relating this to the listeners now, right? There may be a few listeners out there who are maybe struggling to lose weight, struggling to lose body fat, struggling to get the motivation, the consistency to, achieve something like you've achieved, right? Yeah. So what would you say if you could say to someone, right, okay, someone who's really struggling, you could look in the eyes now, what would you say to, I don't like using the word motivate all the time because motivation is a temporary state. It doesn't last forever, right? It comes and goes. How would you what would you say to someone to help them change their mindset? To help them achieve
their goals and all the rest, what they want to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's a double-edged sword because I've already said this. It's like it's a decision which each individual has to make. And as I said before, it's like doesn't matter what friends, family, or whatever turned around and say to people. If you're not ready to make the decision and make the change, it won't happen. At the end of the day, and I've said this before as well, you've got to make the decisions. You've got to want to do it. You've got to want to change your habits. And, people turn around and say to me, oh, it can't be done, or it can be done, or this and that, blah, blah. And I go, you know what? The mind, especially the human mind, if you can, it's a magnificent thing because you can, whatever you set your mind to, you will achieve it. It doesn't matter what it is, and especially within yourself and all that. You set your mind to it, you will do it. Those people that are looking to change things, or they're changing different, or they're doing different things and different diets or whatever, I would say to them, stop looking at it as a diet because it's not a diet.
No, I hate that word. Thanks for saying that. I always stress that to people.
It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change. You've got to change what you said before about your habits or your routine and all that.
Yeah.
You've got to change all that. You've got to change all that and implement fresher, cleaner ways of eating. Get rid of your fast food outlets. Get rid of all your stuff, that sort of stuff. And there's sacrifices that you have to make. And it's up to the individual to make those sacrifices. You have, so that's, the key factor I reckon would be change the mindset of it. It's not a diet. Because that diet would, going back to what we just said before about having a cake and all the rest. You go, all right, I've broken the diet. That's it. The diet's over, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's it. Go back to normal eating.
Exactly.
It's not. It's a treat. Move on. Go forward.
Exactly.
And there are, it's
okay. Cool. So just to cap that off then, right? So the most important thing is, folks, is switch your mindset, right? So based on what you were saying then, it's make some small changes and be consistent with it, right? Because if they try going, okay, I'm eating a pizza, 5 cakes, every day I'm eating shitty foods, right? And what I'm going to do now all at once, I'm going to go from no exercise, eating shit, to balls-to-wall training, cutting back and eating, and basically cutting my calories down. And then I'm going to try and basically do some extra cardio on top of that. This is what most people do, Gerry. They try and do all that all at once. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
It was just at the same time. That's unsustainable. That's why you asked me about mine. I said, I didn't start training until 6 months down the track.
There we go.
I started everything. I lost a majority of the weight. I stopped smoking, sorry. And then when it came to a need and I had to implement training, and my training is doing bulk, like heavy weights and all the rest, to bulk up muscle and all that. As we said, like I'm doing some astounding weights and all that. But that came in later. But that comes in with a whole different issue because you need to fuel your body. You need to fuel it. And it's like, I had to change my food again. I had to implement food. I had to implement more food. I had to implement a little bit of carbs, like rice and clean carbs and all that sort of stuff. Because, you know, putting your body under that stress and all the rest, if you try and do all of it at once, it's just a recipe for disaster.
100%. Thanks a lot, Jer. We're gonna have to throw in the towel there, but that was awesome, mate. I really appreciate that. I think the listeners will get some really, really good takeaways from there, mate. It's very inspiring, and to see, like I said, I've been here for over 15 months now in Sydney, and for the whole time, this guy is just not quitting, right? But do you know what? It's not rocket science, folks, right? He is just being consistent with the simple things. He's hiring a coach. There's something I would recommend, folks, as well. To do this on your own, very, very tough, just like anything in life. Just as Gerry said, you have to surround yourself with the right people. If you got negative people in your life who are bringing you down in one way or another, then unfortunately you have to cut your ties, or you have to improve this. You have to change this. You have to make changes. So hiring a coach or a personal trainer, okay, is very important. You need to have someone who's an expert in what they're doing, or at least knows a reasonable amount of knowledge based on you losing weight or whatever your goals are. So be consistent and be persistent, because that's what Gerry's done. So thanks very much, Jer.
No, pleasure.
Awesome.
No, it's all good.
Thanks a lot, mate.
It's a pleasure to actually get more people hear my story or whatever, and if it helps anyone, that's me done. That's me. That's good enough for me.
That's exactly it, mate. If we can help one person, result. Thanks a lot, mate. I'll speak to you soon, Jer.
Done.